Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Crafting and Crime Daily. I am your host, Rebecca, and yes, I recap live trials. A new trial started yesterday. So while we're waiting for the Chad Daybell jury to come back with a verdict, I thought I'd give you a recap of this new trial that started yesterday. They were picking a jury yesterday morning by 1:30 their time, Tennessee, East Coast time. They had picked a jury, and they gave opening statements yesterday. This is the state of Tennessee versus David Swift. He has been charged with the premeditated intentional homicide of his wife, Karen Swift.
Indictment in the Circuit Court of Dyer County, Tennessee. State of Tennessee versus David Swift. Indictment for first-degree premeditated murder. The date is August 8th, 2022. Indictment number 22 CR 186. The grand jurors of Dyer County, Tennessee, duly impaneled and sworn upon their oath, present that David Swift, on or about October 30th, 2011, in Dyer County, Tennessee, and before the finding of this indictment, unlawfully and knowingly, with premeditation and intent, did kill Karen Swift in violation of Tennessee Code annotated 39-13-202 and against the peace and dignity of the state of Tennessee.
When she disappeared on the morning of October 29th, actually it was the morning 29th going into 30th. So on the morning of October 30th, she has not been seen since, and her body was discovered 40 days later. Now, David Swift doesn't get indicted for this murder until August of 2022. It took the police 11 years to figure this out. And it sounds pretty circumstantial to me. So I'm very curious how this case is going to turn out. So David and Karen were married in 1989 and had 2 children, Preston and Dustin. They had 2 little boys. And then in 1996, David had a 3-year affair that resulted in the birth of another child. So Karen found out about him having this other child out of wedlock. Well, he was married to her out of this affair, and they divorced. However, they got divorced in January of 2000. So, but they got back together the same year. They reconciled, and they were remarried in September of 2000. And they had 2 more children, Ashley and Keely. Karen, this time, Karen was the one who has the affair. And with a man in Arkansas, and they were living in Arkansas at the time of this affair. When David finds out, he's like, we're going to leave Arkansas. We're moving. He moves his family from Arkansas down to Tennessee. So Kathy starts making friends in Tennessee. The neighbors, she was not allowed to work. The prosecution describes David as being very controlling of her. He would not let her work. She made friends with a couple in the neighborhood, Kathy and Bill Bolin, and I may be butchering the last name. I may not have understood it. I'm just going off of the prosecution's opening statements. That we're going to hear a lot from this couple, Bill and Kathy Bolin, to the point where I'm wondering what kind of relationship they had with Kathy, because I think the defense is going to make it out to be sort of inappropriate. Anyway, so he's not letting Kathy work. So I'm saying Kathy, it's Karen. I'm sorry. He's not letting Karen work. So Karen starts cleaning houses. She's doing landscaping on her own just because she wants to raise money. She wants to divorce this guy. She's got friends now. She spends time with her friends, and he hates it when she's doing this. When she's with her friends, he's calling her constantly. And he started stalking her, started showing up where she was with these friends. Now, on defense's opening, they claimed that, she had an affair, and she kept disappearing, and she was out partying and with all these friends. And so he would check on her. Okay, sure. So in 2011, they started having financial problems, and he still would not let her work. She wanted to get a divorce, so that's why she started cleaning houses and doing landscaping. But Kathy and Bill, the neighbors, they decide, we're going to loan you $2,000 to get a divorce, and we're going to buy you a phone. So she's got a burner phone that he doesn't know about. David, he claims he didn't know about this phone until after she disappeared. So she actually files for divorce in October of 2011. She does not want to be home when he gets served with the divorce papers. So Kathy and Bill say, hey, school's out. We were planning to go on this vacation with these other people, and the other people canceled. So we have a room that's already paid for. Why didn't you come with us, you and the kids? So she leaves, packs up the girls, goes away, just leaves him a note, just leaves David a note. Hey, I've left. I've filed for divorce. If you don't want the embarrassment of being served with the divorce papers at your job, then I suggest you go by my attorney's office and he'll serve you personally, which is what he did. He goes by her lawyer's office while she's on vacation with Bill and Kathy and the kids, and he picks up the papers. Now, once the divorce is filed by one of the parties, the other party has 30 days to respond to that. And if you don't respond, then the court can just enter a judgment. Okay, you're divorced. But he claims he was planning on contesting that divorce, but before the 30 days is up, he has not responded, and she is missing. So she goes missing the night of the 29th, October 29th. It's a Saturday night. She and Bill and Kathy were planning to go to this Halloween party, and she really wanted to go to the party, and David, had asked her out for dinner. Let's go out for dinner. Let's see if we can work things out. She's like, no, I want to go to this party. I don't want to work things out with you. So Ashley, the older of the two girls, goes to a sleepover with a friend, and Keely stays home with David, the dad. And Mom goes out to have this party, go to this Saturday night party with her friends. She comes home just after, she leaves the party. Her and Kathy and Bill, they leave the party just after midnight. They stop at McDonald's to have some French fries, absorb the alcohol. My favorite used to be Taco Bell. But anyway, they go to McDonald's, and then she goes over to Kathy and Bill's house, just for a little after party. And she gets a call from her daughter, Ashley, saying things are not working out at this sleepover. I don't know. You know how kids are. They weren't getting along or whatever, and she wanted to come home. So Kathy says, fine, I'll go pick you up. So she goes and picks up Ashley and goes home. She arrives at home a little after 2:00 in the morning, and her car is seen leaving around 4:30 in the morning. And it's when David wakes up the next morning, the girls are saying, Dad, Mom's gone. Where's Mom? But during that night, someone had searched on the computer, was deleting all kinds of files that belong to Kathy, pictures and things like that, deleting all this stuff. And the prosecution's theory, I don't know how they're going to prove this. I don't know. We'll see. Their theory is that Keely was sleeping with him, in the bed with him. They were sleeping in separate rooms because they filed for divorce. So Keely's sleeping in the bed with him. Ashley was sleeping with her mom. So he gets up and he puts Keely in her own bed. Then he goes to where Karen is, and he puts Ashley into the bed with Keely. He figures if they wake, if one wakes up, the other one they'll go back to sleep because they're with each other. Then he takes his wife, strips her of her clothes. This is their theory. Strips her of her clothes, leaves her underwear on, takes her out to the garage, bashes her head in on the concrete, and then lets the air out of the tire on her car so it looks like she got a flat tire, puts her in. I guess he took her somewhere and dumped her. They said her body was found in a cemetery out near where this big cross is. There's a big cross in this town, and everybody knows the big cross, and that's where they found her, in the cemetery 40 days later. But that morning, her car is seen outside, like down the street. When David discovers she's missing, he calls Bill and Kathy, and they're like, he's figuring, hey, she got up early. She likes to go to the Y to go work out. And she had been cleaning someone's home the day before on the Saturday and was going over that day to finish up the cleaning. So he calls Bill and Kathy, and they're like, well, her car's parked at the end of the street. It's got a flat tire. So he never calls 911 to report her missing, but they do. Bill and Kathy call 911, and Bill and Kathy go down to where the car is, and they meet the police there. David's not there yet. He said something about he had to go somewhere and drop the girls so that somebody could watch the girls, and then he goes and meets the police. He shows up eventually where they are with this vehicle. The vehicle is impounded because the officer responding, he suspects something's amiss. He calls his supervisor, who suspects something's amiss, who calls the big man in charge, who says, impound the vehicle. He called the investigator, and the investigator was out of town. He says, I can't come to the scene, but just impound this vehicle until I can get back, and start this investigation. So her body is found 40 days later. So the prosecution says David has 4 different stories of what happened that morning. So we're going to hear different stories that were told to different people. This is going to be a case where there's going to be a lot of people coming in saying, well, he said, it's going to be a lot of hearsay. And the judge has said ahead of time, if you're going to bring in a hearsay statement, we're going to have a discussion about this before I let it in front of the jury. Because there's going to be a lot of friends that heard him say this, and friends that saw him do this. And, this is their case that took them 11 years. There's no DNA. There's no smoking gun. There's no ballistics. Just a lot of circumstantial. He was stalking her. He says she was partying. I don't know how this case is going to go. I really don't. It just seems really, when they found her body, it was unclothed with the underwear pulled down, but no semen was found. She did not appear to have been sexually assaulted. It's thought by the prosecution that he just made it look that way. So, and there's also been some conjecture that police searched that area to find the body and didn't see it. So was it placed in that cemetery at a later point by David or someone else? Was she really a partying person? Was there an inappropriate relationship with Bill and Kathy? I don't know. This is going to be a good one. All right, that's it. I'm going to go back for the rest of the closing arguments. Yes, I'm filming a lot today. I will have the beginning of the testimony recap for you tomorrow. In this case, State of Tennessee versus David Swift, not related to Taylor. Yes. Take care, everybody. Bye.